By March 1, 1942, the war back home was a nightmare. Hitler was strangling Europe, and the Japanese were rampant in the Pacific. Most immediate from my perspective as a mature Australian engineer stranded in Surabaya, Java, the Japanese had seized Singapore and Malaysia, destroyed the American Pacific Fleet, and neutralized their forces in the Philippines, conquered most of the Dutch East Indies, and were landing on Java. The one-sided Battle of the Java Sea had shredded Abda Float, a jumble of antiquated American, British, Dutch, and Australian warships, united by the vicissitudes of war. Its destruction left the few surviving ships scrambling to slip past the tightening Japanese gauntlet. For most, it was too late. With several other refugees, I managed to board an old American destroyer, USS Walker, commanded by Lieutenant Commander Matt Reddy. Whether fate, providence, or mere luck intervened, Walker and her sister Mahan, their gallant destroyermen cruelly depleted by combat, were not fated for the same destruction that claimed their consorts in escape. Instead, at the height of a desperate action against the mighty Japanese battlecruiser Amagi, commanded by the relentless Hisashi Kurokawa, they were engulfed by an anomalous force, manifested as a bizarre greenish squall, and their battered, leaking, war-torn hulks were somehow swept to another world entirely. I say another world because, though geographically similar, there are few additional resemblances. It's as if whatever cataclysmic event doomed the prehistoric life on our Earth many millions of years ago never occurred. And those terrifying, fascinating creatures endured, sometimes evolving down wildly different paths. We quickly discovered people, however, calling themselves Miyanaka, who are highly intelligent social folk, with large eyes, fur, and expressive tails. In my ignorance and excitement, I promptly dubbed them Lemurians, based on their strong, if more feline, resemblance to the giant lemurs of Madagascar. Growing evidence may confirm they sprang from a parallel line, with only the most distant ancestor connecting them to lemurs, but Lemurians has stuck. We just as swiftly learned they were engaged in an existential struggle with a somewhat reptilian species commonly called Grik. Also bipedal, Grik display bristly crests and tail plumage, dreadful teeth and claws, and are clearly descended from the dromaeosaurids in our fossil record,